getting the monitor. Peter Shilton forgot that he was captain today and set off back to his goal for the kicking in, and suddenly turned in midfield and came back to meet Boniek at the toss-up. So the moment of truth has arrived for Bobby Robson's England. The balance of power here, just as it was at Wembley that fateful night in 1973 between these two countries. England really need victory. A draw is enough for Poland. Ostrowski. 8 is Urban. And Glenn Hoddle winning a strong challenge, his first of the game in midfield. Lineker. Freed by Trevor Steven. Poland have played all their 3 matches in this Universitario stadium. It's England's first visit here, and they have the game's first free kick. Butcher's come forward. Fennick just loitering on the edge. And Fennick! Well, it's the taking of chances that has been the problem. They were created in the opening game against Portugal, not quite so much against Morocco when we spent much of the game with 10 men. Bobby Robson has changed his philosophy. England going into this game with 4 in midfield. And Peter Beardsley, who laid that off crisply up front with Lineker. And another short touch from Beardsley. Hoddle driving it straight against Matysiak. The Poles with plenty of ambition themselves in this match. They want to stay here in Monterrey. Topping the group will ensure that. They've not done any altitude training, and having acclimatized here to the heat, they don't want to go any higher. Urban, number 8. Sansom for England. Now Hoddle. And England encountering for the first time in the World Cup finals the sweeper. They played against 2 squarish back fours. but Roman Wójcicki, the number 5 for Poland, will play behind the other defenders. Matysiak, the anchor man in midfield. Peter Reid starting an international for the first time since September. This is Hodge. And he held the ball up well enough to bring about the free kick. It was Pawlak who came in from behind. Guided on by Lineker. The stadium at ground level really surrounded by Union Jacks. Anthony Piechniczek, who guided Poland to 3rd place in 1982. Stevens with the throw, and Butcher able to flick it on. But there's no Hakely, of course, to add the height and the physical power up front, but it's a tactic that hasn't really worked for England in the 2 games that they've had. And it's the quality of the crossing that will be important. Boniek. And Smolarek just beaten to it by Butcher. Urban had got away down Poland's left. Stephen, a big match for Trevor Stephen. Hoddle, who with Stephen's inclusion can play from a more central position, and that will suit him. Sansom. Ron Greenwood, the former England manager, told me before the game that the way to get round Poland here and their sweeper would be for the 2 full-backs really to be adventurous in this game. We shall see. Fenwick. Everyone but Peter Shilton in the Poland half, and Fenwick under-hitting the pass, the interception from Smolarek, and Boniek's timed his run from midfield. It was Fenwick's error. Shilton just gets a hand to it and rescues the central defender. Peter Shilton, the only survivor in the England ranks from 1973, when he had a game that he's been trying to forget ever since. One mistake was so costly, but what an important save, particularly now with Gary Lineker for England. Dziekanowski. Well, Boniek, whose record against English clubs in European competition is exceptional, he seems to relish playing against a square back 4. He's got the pace to embarrass that type of defending. And he was put clear then after Fenwick had given the ball away. But his finishing let him down, and Shilton presented a formidable obstacle. The temperature at kick-off time, just over 30 degrees Celsius, around 90 degrees Fahrenheit. And the Poles have had as much problem with the heat as we have. Boniek, 2 to his left. This is Ostrowski. Boniek again. Komornicki, who was the one player in the successful side against Portugal who was perhaps fancied to lose his place. Pawlak matched all the way by Stevie Hodge. Matysiak. And tigerish work from Sansom. And a splendid ball forward from Hoddle. And Beardsley and Lineker, who linked up so well together in Tbilisi. Sharp then. The 3rd player involved is Trevor Stephen, and it's Gary Stevens. Lineker! The World Cup campaign at last is on the move. And Bobby Robson will be thrilled with the interplay between Beardsley and Lineker that started it. And then Trevor Stephen and Gary Stevens, an all-Everton goal finished off by Lineker. Eight minutes gone. A goal of immeasurable importance to English morale. And the prophetic words of Ron Greenwood before the match about the importance of the England fullbacks today. Gary Stevens covered a lot of ground and came undetected. And the cross was perfection. What a difference a goal makes. After two barren matches, Gary Lineker on target. Here's Komornicki. And if you can fathom your way through all the possibilities, a 1-0 win would certainly be enough. But there's an awful long way to go. Sometimes you can score too soon in matches. England are back. That's the cry in the Universitario Stadium in Monterrey. Sansom. Wójcicki, the sweeper. Hodge determined not to let it run, and it's still in play. In the end, Roman Wójcicki with a little clip back into his goalkeeper's arms. This is Smolarek, the scorer of that critical goal for Poland against Portugal. Stevens, now Reed. Urban. Fenwick was a little impulsive in his challenge. Butcher was there when the ball was rather aimlessly prodded through by Poland. Hoddle, who really does look frisky. Reed. Now Hodge. Sansom's gone ahead of him. Referee André Daina from Switzerland, who took charge of the European Cup final between Liverpool and Juventus in the Eisel Stadium in Brussels. Butcher, and that's Hoddle doing the juggling. The angle was beyond him in the end, but it was symptomatic of England's current mood. And without Brian Robson and Ray Wilkins in midfield, Glenn Hoddle has to be the leader. And he's looking at the outset as though he's relishing the role. Komornicki. Picked off by the head of Terry Butcher from Matishik's ball forward. Trevor Stephen. Here's Reed. That club understanding, the Everton quartet, could serve England very well indeed. Hoddle. Here's Beardsley. And the ball running for him and for Lineker. Beardsley really made it happen with a show of ambition, and this time Gary Stevens couldn't oblige with the cross, and the arms were raised in disappointment, but 1 out of 2 so far isn't bad. Here's Matysiak. Ostrowski, the left back. Oban just drifting ahead of him. Wójcicki. And Sansom easily outmanoeuvring Ryszard Komornicki. Peter Shilton, who has a splendid record as England's captain. 8 games before today, 4 have been won, 4 drawn. Beardsley. Superbly done for Hodge. Lineker is in the middle. Lineker! Brilliant! They're tearing Poland apart. A change of style for Bobby Robson. And Gary Lineker relishing the service after Beardsley had found Hodge. Again, the finish was sharp and sure. Twice inside 14 minutes, the ball has been in Młynarczyk's net. And Gary Lineker takes his overall total of goals this season to 45. 5 for England and 40 for Everton. Czekanowski. And that's a free kick right on the edge. With the spirits high and tremendous elation in the England ranks, this is an important situation where discipline and concentration is of paramount importance. Smolarek, the number 11. Boniek is there as well. It's Smolarek and it's Shilton. Right in line. Smolarek shot arrowing past the wall, but Shilton had his positioning right. And what a heartening scoreline. Boniek. And they left it for Shilton in the end. I don't think the goalkeeper was over-appreciative of the decision. Touched on by Lineker. This is Stephen. And Steve Hodge! It's 3! Stephen Hodge strikes for England for the first time, and the goal is disallowed by a linesman's flag that has brought boos within the stadium. But Hodge, who'd come a long way, was given offside. Well, Trevor Stephen had opened Poland up again with a purposeful piece of play, and the ball was hardly played further forward than square. And if Poland do come back into this match, that decision could yet turn out to be a critical one. It looked a good goal. Beardsley. Cut out by Matysiak. Ostrowski. This is Boniek. And Pawlak just getting a yard on Beardsley. It's one for Gary Stevens to win in the air, but he didn't make it against Urban, and Shilton just had to push it over the top. Stevens in the end with a standing jump, and Urban just timed his leap a little better. The whistle had already gone for an infringement in the middle before the ball had passed out. Sansom onto the head of Majewski. Reed got a foot in. Here's Lineker. Hoddle, and Hodge clearly onside this time. Played on by Wójcicki. Beardsley. Powerfully backed by Butcher. And Pawlak reflecting the lack of ease in Poland's ranks at the moment. Jakanowski. And Stevens coming in a little impulsively, but he did enough to put Smolarek off. Hodge. Acres of room again for Gary Stevens. Trevor Steven against Ostrowski, and there's little cover on the Polish left-back. Just drifted beyond Lineker and towards the goalkeeper, with Beardsley checking out towards the far post. You would hardly recognise England from the stuttering performances of the first two games. Going to be an important test of Peter Reid's stamina. He's not had a lot of games. He's had one or two little injury niggles while he's been here to an ankle. And he's happy, I think, that England's midfield at the moment is in control. He can play himself in. We're not at the halfway point yet in the first half, but with England leading 2-0, Poland's response is to get a substitute ready to come on, Jan Karaś. Komornicki. The linesman waving on Smolarek. Here's Boniek. Came off Fenech and will be collected by Jan Urban. And Ostrowski with a tame effort. And Gary Stevens in the end running into trouble. And he now has a chance here to make a more purposeful clearance. Wójcicki. A lot for Poland resting now on Boniek. And Pawlak is having an unhappy time. All grist to England's mill. And it's Komornicki, with the match now a quarter old. A tactical substitution, and Karaś, who gave a useful performance, not the least a clearance on the line when he came on in the second half against Portugal. Stevens. Lineker looking to stay onside. He didn't quite accomplish it, but there's hope there for England in that respect. Lineker's running is pulling the Polish marking all over the place, and Beardsley so far a splendid foil. Pavlak. Touched off by Karaś. And it might drop here for Dziekanowski. At times he looks a lethargic performer, but his record and his status as Poland's Footballer of the Year belies that. And the volley was dipping, but dipping wide for Poland. And Dariusz Dziekanowski. Off goes Lineker again, dragging Majewski with him. Stephen the decoy, and now being brought into the play by Gary Lineker. Reed's got forward ahead of Glenn Hoddle. And Poland again looking tentative in their tactical appreciation at the back. And Wójcicki confusing everyone. Beardsley. Now Hodge. Retained balance and the ball for Beardsley. And it was an attempt really to squeeze the ball across the face of the goal. And Młynarczyk was there. England sparkling in the Monterrey sun. Reed. And now England have the luxury for the first time in the World Cup finals of playing the match at their tempo. Stevens. Here's Butcher. Back from Lineker. Hodge providing the width on the left. Here's Reed. England now searching for some width on the other side. Hoddle is checked out in that direction. Peter Reed picking the moment to find Beardsley. And Młynarczyk had to be alert at his near post. Poland certainly won't know too much about Peter Beardsley, and even when you do know his game, he's very hard to stop when he gets the ball with a run at you inside the opposition's penalty area. The two number 20s on the field, there's no doubt who is the more impressive at the moment. It's the one in the white shirt. Matishik, pressed by Hodge. Karaś, whose introduction is really a response to Poland's concern that they could yet, having led the group at the start today, finish bottom of it. Peter Reid does have a theory that referees these days don't allow him to tackle. That applies in the World Cup, it seems, as well as the English First Division. Ostrowski. Boniek, it was a subtle touch, and Trevor Steven lost his balance, and Boniek shoots wide. To the relief of Steven, as he fell, Boniek was clearly protesting that the ball did strike a Steven arm there. But it wasn't intentional, and the referee, who had a good sight of it, ruled play on straight away, and Boniek unable to hit his shot cleanly. Here's Hoddle. Lineker coming for the short ball again and then dragging Majewski away. Hoddle still comfortably in control. And the pass is incisive. Lineker. Wójcicki guarding the space around the near post. Sanson, and it's Reid making a rare forward sortie and then wondering quite where he was and deciding that he better get back to patrol things nearer the halfway line. Well, this group that's produced such sterile matches is now seeing a sharp performance of great authority, crisp passing, embroidered with goals, and it's coming from England. Smolarek realising now the danger of Gary Stevens. A little late, the horse had already bolted. Dariusz Dziekanowski. Here's Matisik. Majewski. Ostrowski wanted the ball played to the left. Majewski looked the other side, and Karaś, who's been patrolling the touchline, hasn't had the best of service so far. Lineker had time to turn, but opted to use Hoddle. Just over half an hour gone. England striking twice inside 14 minutes. Two splendidly executed goals created by swift interpassing and finished in typical style by Gary Lineker. Matisik. And Boniek turned Hoddle then. Smolarek. It's a corner, and it came to Smolarek, fortunately for England, on his wrong foot. It's over Majewski, and Hodge immediately helped by Peter Reid, who's got a tremendous sense of supporting a player in possession. Ostrowski. But where there's Boniek, there's always threat. And here's Karaś. Boniek just jogging into the middle. Smolarek beaten to it by Sansom. Wójcicki. And it's Karaś with a useful ball in, and Urban, had he been able to divert it on target, could well have eaten into England's lead then. Karaś curling the pass towards the near post area, and Urban got there first. Stevens. And Beardsley just playing it back so that he can perhaps draw breath. England have put so much into the opening 33 minutes. And they've had reward for their endeavour and for their quality. Pawlak was just tripped by Beardsley. Here's Hoddle. Now Lineker. Trevor Stephen has come infield. Reed taking over. Lineker's gone to the right now. Hoddle, two to his left. And the wider of the two is Steve Hodge. The other, Beardsley. Stephen for Beardsley again, and tucked away from him by Majewski. The first touch from the England players has been so encouraging. The ball hasn't bounced away. Fennick joining Butcher towards the near post. Młynarczyk has misjudged it, and Lineker has a hat-trick from a goalkeeping error. "35 minutes gone, 35 minutes in which Gary Lineker has etched his trademark on the 1986 World Cup finals. That one was a gift, but he was there, and the chances today are all ending up in the back of the net. It's his second England hat-trick of the season, to go with the three he struck against Turkey. And Poland in some disarray. It's a rampant England, spearheaded by Gary Lineker. Shilton again supervising a free kick that came quickly after a goal had been scored, just as happened after we went two in front. Boniek and Wójcicki, even with his height, unable to make anything of it. But I suppose the wheel turns in football, and Tomaszewski had good fortune for several goalkeepers at Wembley in 1973. And here in 1986 in Monterrey, Młynarczyk has gifted England a goal that brings about a 3-0 lead, and surely now victory, even with 8 minutes of the first half still remaining. Beardsley. Hoddle, Lineker again. Well, we had Elkjær of Denmark, we had Altobelli of Italy, and now happily we have Gary Lineker of England. Hat-trick men in Mexico. change of tactic at the corner this time. The outswinger from Hoddle and the header from Pawlak. Hoddle had got back to stay onside and has another corner. England have stuck rigidly to the near post corners in the qualifying games, but out here they've given themselves different options with extra time, of course, to rehearse set plays. Matisik read it rather well for Poland. Ostrowski, it was a strange header really, and Butcher got a foot in. Stephen with a shot! Well, Trevor Stephen, who was ill and not really available for selection for the first game, and has benefited personally from a change of policy by Bobby Robson, is showing that he has a big match temperament. His first international start since the game in Egypt in January. Reed. And Beardsley making the sweeper scurry again, and Wójcicki hasn't really got the touch under severe pressure. Beardsley beavering away at him. This time Butcher staying back. And Lineker alone in the goal area at the moment. Hodge waiting on the edge. And Młynarczyk clutching it, not in the textbook style, but grateful, I'm sure, to hang on after his error, which in the final analysis could see Poland out of the World Cup if the match between Portugal and Morocco is drawn. Four minutes of the first half remaining. Beardsley angling the header perfectly for Trevor Stephen. Beardsley and Gary Stevens had already set off on his run. Reed. Lineker has to move back outside of the area to get back on the side. And Majewski has come second, one would say, in the battle between those two number 10s. Smolarek. Karash away to his right. This is Boniek. And Butcher organising England's back four, pushing them out on the line. There were 5 of them, in fact, because Trevor Stephen had slotted into a role of extra defender. Lineker. Hodge trying to urge himself forward, but one or two players understandably will be grateful to hear the half-time whistle. And Peter Reed. And even the little mistakes, Reed had virtually lost possession then. It's going England's way. It deflects for a throw. All that's required now before half-time is some tight defending, and Butcher following through then as the ball ran away from him onto Karaś, and with one yellow card in the tournament, Butcher just getting a talking to from the Swiss referee Daina. Could have been construed as a cynical attempt to halt a player who could have broken in behind England then, had he got away from Butcher. Boniek can be very critical of his teammates, and he was just gesturing and talking to them then, while the treatment was being administered to a quickly recovered Karaś. Inside the final minute of the first half. Reed. Here's Stevens. Bobby Robson promised that England would give their all. If they had to go out of the World Cup, it wouldn't be without a fight. And the players have rolled up their sleeves metaphorically and been purposeful right from the start here in Monterrey, and have been rewarded by 3 first-half goals and a contentious one disallowed, and possibly still more to come. Stephen. Reed. At half-time in Monterrey, the toast is England and very much Gary Lineker. Before the kick-off, we perhaps allowed ourselves thoughts of victory, and now at half-time we can contemplate the margin of victory. Lineker with 2 inside 14 minutes, and completing the hat-trick courtesy of a catastrophic error from Młynarczyk after 35 minutes. At half-time at Monterrey, it's Poland 0, England 3. England are in the World Cup finals for the 8th time, but in all those competitions we've never won a match by 3 clear goals, but that's the margin over Poland as we start the second half. The side led by Peter Shilton, whose save early in the match from Boniek was of crucial importance. Poland had brought on a second substitute, the number 15, Bunsol, in place of Matisik. Here is Bunsol. Karaś. Well, it's a matter now of consolidation. Wójcicki getting underneath Shilton's long clearance. Sansom's header. Jakanowski, the England players will have been told at half-time that Morocco are leading Portugal 2-0, and if the scores stayed the same, then England would finish second in the group and go to Mexico City to play Paraguay. Bunsol. Jakanowski. Smolarek put away initially from Trevor Stephen and then from Gary Stevens. Shilton was more purposeful than Boniek, who was the nearest Polish player to the cross. Reed. And Butcher seeing Lineker's position and Lineker's ability to come off the defender produced the free kick, and that's been a facet of play from both Gary Lineker and Peter Beardsley in the first half, with Steve Hodge and Trevor Stephen fizzing alongside the two front men. Steve Hodge hungry for his opportunity. Pawlak. And Poland must just hope that Portugal don't score twice in Guadalajara in the second half and get a point from that match with Morocco. That would astonishingly put Poland out. Dziekanowski. England will be sensible, but mustn't throw away too much of the initiative. Wójcicki. Coolly done in the Monterrey sunshine by Butcher. Glenn Hoddle, who had a splendid first half as well. And Lineker had already set off as the ball dropped towards Hoddle. Bunsov. And Pawlak didn't appreciate having to chase back. Hodge was alert to the possibilities. And England denying Poland room in which to build from the back. Młynarczyk, in the end, may well have to kick. And there's no one through the centre for Poland, and it goes from one goalkeeper safely from England's viewpoint through to the other. Stevens. Hoddle, that was beautifully done again. He almost expected of him, and at times it doesn't get appreciated because he does make the game look so simple. If he wants to go to Ajax, as the story is reported in the papers, Bobby Robson has banned any transfer talk here with the players. But if Glenn Hoddle has any thoughts of going abroad, there's a man alongside me, David Pleat, who will surely be doing his best to dissuade Hoddle from such beliefs. Bunsov, one of the Polish players who played a major part in getting to third place in the 1982 finals. Smolarek. Away from Beardsley. Urban, good run from Boniek, a tremendous run from Boniek. And England saved by the post. Some incisive Polish football, and Boniek, the sharpest edge really in their attack, and the shot beat Chilton but thudded to safety. Sansom, Hoddle, and the two England roommates there, who often in their leisure hours talk about ways that Hoddle can get Ken Sansom in to score a rare goal for England. It didn't quite come off then. Just one for Sansom in 68 internationals. That was against Finland back in 1984 at Wembley. Smolarek. Urban, Fenix tackle, it breaks for Karaś. Boniek and Karaś, and one more ball then towards Bunsol. Could have put England in trouble. But here's Reid. Two to his left. Hodge and Beardsley. Stopped by Pawlak. Boniek. And Jakanowski felled by Fenech. And the referee is going to produce the yellow card, and that will mean a suspension for Terry Fenech. He is out of England's next match. A yellow card against Portugal and a second one here. This was the infringement, and Fenech was late. Ostrowski. That's the first real cloud on England's horizon so far this afternoon. It means Bobby Robson won't be able to field the same team. Beardsley, Lineker ahead of him. Reid trying to make up some ground as well, and Lineker took his eye off the ball, which arrived around the ankles. Jakanowski and Boniek with a little shrug of disappointment. Well, it could be the sort of second half that would be frustrating if it was 0-0, but in England's position, who can blame them? Reid. It was kept in by Hodge, but at the cost of giving the ball to Wójcicki. Karaś. Pawlak on the far side. Boniek. England leaving Beardsley and Lineker forward. Orban. And Hoddle couldn't knock it away when he might have done so, and Stevens, with more of a defender's instinct, had to get back to rescue England at the cost of a corner. Wójcicki again has loped forward, and it's over Shilton, who wasn't sure who was behind him. There was in fact nobody from Poland, but it was a safety first reaction, and the right one, even though it's produced Poland another corner. Boniek. Sansom going out to meet the ball, which is with Pawlak, and Shilton came a long way. He does restrict his sorties off the line, but when he does come, he makes sure that he gets there. Stevens. Trevor Stephen. Lineker continuing to make life difficult for Stefan Majewski. Ostrowski. Orban, a neat turn away from Hoddle. Smolarek. There's no room really down that touchline, and these days Smolarek doesn't really have the pace to threaten Gary Stevens. He might have the craft. It was pace he was looking for then. Here's Reed. Ostrowski. Now Karaś. Pawlak not given time to settle by Hodge. The pass did find its target though. Bunsol. Boniek to the right, Smolarek to the left, and Jakunovski through the middle. England looked vulnerable then. The little ball rolled inside by Smolarek, and Jakunovski couldn't take it in his stride. Orban. Boniek. The left back, Marek Ostrowski. Now Smolarek. And Sansom making sure with his header, got good distance. Hoddle for Beardsley. And the long grass coming to Trevor Stevens' assistant then. Well, England understandably have just taken their foot off the accelerator at the start of the second half. I'm sure Bobby Robson would have said if you can get through 15-20 minutes without being punctured at the back, then the victory will come in a straightforward fashion. Otherwise there might be anxiety. Lineker, it drops for Reed. He had time. It's a good example then for young players. He looked up straight away just to see what was on around him. Head up equals retaining possession. Beardsley. There'll be a few olays if England can string some passes together to keep possession. And Bobby Robson's side have come safely through the first 15 minutes of the second half, although Peter Shilton's had a post struck. And Terry Fenwick has had his second yellow card of the tournament. Karaś. Only the fifth meeting between the two countries, two of them in 1966 as warm-up games for England in the preparation for the 1966 World Cup finals. A 1-1 draw at Goodison Park and a 1-0 win for England in Poland. The other two meetings were those World Cup qualifiers when Bobby Moore was caught in Katowice and Smolarek, I beg your pardon, Lubanski ran clear to score. And England lost 2-0 with Alan Ball sent off. And then the 1-1 draw, Tomaszewski's game at Wembley. Stevens covering ahead of Smolarek. Reed, that was rather weary. And here's Boniek. Suddenly Poland have three forward here, and Boniek couldn't find the finish, and Peter Reed would be relieved. He held up a hand to acknowledge his mistake. Poland have a corner. And it'll reach little Bunsol. And now Karash was blocked by Hodge. Pawlak. Hoddle doing the defending for England. Ostrowski. And Sansom with a player, although not interfering with play, Boniek, looking very despondent away on the far side. Very slow to come back. Wójcicki. And Boniek has come across to get a cold sponge. Maybe something to get some liquid into his mouth. Wójcicki. Cut out by Trevor Stephen, and Beardsley threw one too many dummies then. He fooled himself as he tried to get past Wójcicki. England stringing that four across midfield as a protective covering to the back four, and just leaving Lineker and Beardsley to fend for themselves for the time being. Well, if England do have to go to Mexico City, as is looking more and more likely, then Bobby Robson's planning will look to be sensible in keeping England up in the mountains here, some 60 miles away from the stadium, up at altitude, just a little bit lower there than Mexico City itself. And Fenwick's getting a bit of a persecution complex. He was expecting the whistle then, and it didn't come. And the England supporters have their own style of celebration. They're doing the conga on the terraces. The match now, for their minds, is as good as won, and it's good-spirited, good-natured. I wonder whether it'll work at Anfield on a wet Saturday, December afternoon. Gary Stevens. One ball right into the heart of Poland's defending, and it's found Lineker. Wójcicki misjudged it, and Lineker's got away. The numbers were against him. It is more of a lone battle for the front two in the second half, but Gary Lineker did very well indeed to make something out of nothing. Halfway through the second half, England still lead Poland by those 3 Lineker goals to 0. Pawlak. Here's Reed. And Lineker is onside. Hoddle's in the middle, so too is Peter Reid. And it's played for Reid. And that would have been a collector's item, a Reid goal for England. But amidst a thoroughly competent and at times exhilarating England performance, that Everton know-how, the club understanding, has often looked particularly threatening. Beardsley. Poor Trevor Steven. Hoddle is inside him. And Lineker has to time his run. And Steven realised he couldn't pass the ball because Lineker had gone offside. Did what was really left to him. Tried to take it on himself and spring the trap. Well, Sansom has lost one. It's Hodge rather on the far side who's tangling with Bunsol. And Sansom had retreated as the second line of defence. But it was a compliment to Steve Hodge that he was Sansom-esque in his determination. If England do leave Monterrey, the one thing they'll be disappointed to leave behind in some respects is the sun. The players have been encouraged to spend some time in it, and their tans show that. Lineker's high on the stakes. Ray Wilkins is widely regarded as the brownest. Jakanowski and Beardsley, who earned England a goal with a tackle in Tbilisi when he set up Chris Waddle. Hodge, Sansom with a decoy run, and then, as they like to say to players, are you sure? The linesman was, and that's what mattered. Less than 20 minutes remaining. Hodge winning it again. And no disrespect to Brian Robson and Ray Wilkins, but it has shown that there is depth in Bobby Robson's resources. Steven. England can push up. Fenwick and Butcher doing that. Sansom a little slow to respond on the far side. Boniek has taken up station there. Down the line from Pavlak. Lineker. Beardsley. Gary Stevens has set off. And Beardsley maybe just a little lazy with the pass. I don't think Stevens also was quite sure where he was going to make the run. It takes two to make a pass, and neither of them got it quite right on that occasion. Jakanowski. Well, the thousands who've made their way to Mexico, maybe 3,000 or 4,000, will feel their journey's worthwhile at the moment. But Orban nearly stopped the roar in their throats. And England look now to Chris Waddle, it seems, to be Bobby Robson's first substitute in this game. Waddle warming up, although I shouldn't think he has to do too much to get warm here. And out of your picture, down on the line, Bobby Robson is emphatically making his point to Chris Waddle with words and with gestures. Lineker. who's made a gesture of his own, really, to those who were writing England off back home. Trevor Stephen. Beardsley. Kept in by Stephen, but Ostrowski is quite a sound left-back defensively. He would be complaining the lack of help he had when England were rampant early in the match. He was always faced by an extra man then. Urban. Karaś. And it's Bunsol finding the ball drifting away from him. Bunsol will be leaving Poland during the summer to play his football in West Germany. Bobby Robson wanting to complete the formalities with the fourth official for his first substitution. Ostrowski. Beardsley and Lineker isolated from the midfield again. Jekanovski. Here's Orban. Past Trevor Stephen. Still Orban. There is plenty of quality in Poland's ranks, which is a tribute in itself to England's lead at the moment and their general performance here. Lineker's offside, and that will now allow Waddle for Beardsley. Peter Beardsley has waited for his chance and he's understandably a little slow to make his way off and will be very disappointed. But he's done his job, and his old pal Chris Waddle, a fresh pair of legs with 15 minutes remaining. And he's not just on for his football, but he's the drinks waiter as well. Bunsol. Here's Boniek. And the ball coming forward for England, but Waddle was giving Lineker something to cool him down. And Waddle anxious to make an impact. Smolarek, a lovely turn. Stevens can bring Peter Shilton into play. How often have England won games by 2 or 3 goals, and it looks like a forwards day in the history books, but there's been a Shilton save in there most times, and there certainly was here today when Boniek sprinted clear early in the match. Reed. And Sansom is full of running and onside. Lineker in the middle, and Waddle is there as well. Majewski just got a touch. Rescued for England by Trevor Stephen. Waddle. Got past one, but not past Ostrowski. Jekanovski, and Kenny Sansom has found a second burst of energy. He was the player sprinting away in that England attack, and then the player who got it back inside his own half. Just a case now of keeping it nice and tidy in the minutes that remain, and maybe adorning the performance with another goal. That perhaps is asking for too much. Dziekanowski. Karaś, and Hodge threw his body into a block on Jan Karaś. The England roar is of Wembley proportions. Here's Smolarek, and Shilton judged it well. There's just a little bit of a breeze, certainly up at commentary level, but maybe down at the pitch as well, which perhaps caught Młynarczyk on England's third goal. It didn't catch Shilton. Reid. It's amazing how durable Peter Reid is. He's got his 30th birthday coming up, and he does, by his own admission, look older than that. But he keeps going at his pace like a metronome, ticking along. And he's kept England ticking in the second half in midfield, where there's been obviously less forward ambition. Smolarek. One would think the Poles have been told that they are likely to be safe. They don't want to concede any more goals, but 3 points should be enough. Bunsok. Pawlak. And Trevor Stephen and Gary Stevens won't be too pleased with the joint defending then. There was no real Polish attempt to get the ball. And Terry Butcher was speaking strongly to Stephen about perhaps not quite being decisive enough. Smolarek to take the corner. And Boniek checked out at the back. Wójcicki. Hoddle with time to control inside his own area. And it's delivered Tottenham style, Hoddle to Waddle. Two names that are causing great consternation to some commentators here. I'm sure that will have been described as Hoddle to Waddle in some countries. But the mood here for England is definitely Ole. Hoddle. Boniek and Butcher playing a little game of head tennis with Urban as the net. Majewski, it drops for Stephen. Hoddle, away goes Sansom, and it might have to come to him from Reid. Hodge. Now Lineker. And Hoddle able to check out and find space for himself again. That's Wójcicki's. And that's Hoddle's. And Waddle was offside, and Sansom certainly was to Waddle's left. Pawlak. Foul by Steve Hodge. Well, it was a courageous decision by Bobby Robson to change tacks, really, to abandon his 4-3-3 for a more solid look, but that seems to be the way forward for England. Bunso. Pawlak. And Orban almost got behind Sanson. He has done now and he's onside. And they couldn't lift it over Butcher. Hoddle. Reed trying to run his way out of trouble. And Hoddle passes his way out of trouble. Holding by Waddle on Wójcicki. Boniek. Tekhanovski, Smolarek. And just towed away from Boniek by Stephen. Safely back to Shilton. And a few more seconds have passed with England still with their goal intact, still with a 3-goal lead. And with 6 minutes remaining, Bobby Robson is going to make a second substitution. It's going to be Kerry Dixon. Lineker, and Waddle is onside. He's had to turn back for help. Stephen. Lineker going towards the near post. If Stephen can whip it in, but it wasn't an easy ball to strike. Smolarek. Orban darting outside him. This is Boniek. And Smolarek slipping Gary Stevens. Paul waiting for the cross for Poland. Boniek missed his kick. Karaś. This is Bunsol. Faced by two. And Sanson and Hodge kept their shape and didn't dive in. And now Gary Lineker is coming off, having worked himself into the ground to give Kerry Dixon some 4.5 minutes. Hodge. And you just sense it's not going to go in for Poland on a day when Boniek can miss by that distance. Orban. Karaś. Bunsol has played it to where Chris Waddle settles for the throw. Reed. England with two fresh forward players, and Dixon was offside ahead of Waddle. And adjudged by the linesman and referee to be interfering with play. The boos and the jeers and the whistles of a few days ago have given way to tremendous England support. They're roaring the team home and to a place in the last 16. Hoddle, and Waddle is offside, and that was desperately unlucky, it seemed, from here. The linesman was ball watching. Waddle was onside when it was played. Boniek, now Pawlak. Pawlak again. It hit Fennick. And that was a good turn by Smolarek on his stronger left-hand side. The angle widening for him. And Gary Stevens towed the ball to Fennick. On to Shilton. Smolarek stays down in disappointment. Sansom, Vixen ahead of him, Waddle to the right, and now coming infield, Stephen. And Sansom, wanting to be involved, gets his touch, and now he's off back to his rightful station. Boniek. Here's Karaś. Paul Boniek, who hits it first time, and Shilton refuses to be beaten. Boniek with a shake of the head. He knew how close it was, and Shilton another outstanding save. Czekanowski put away by Terry Butcher. Peter Shilton hoards clean sheets, and he wants one here. "15 seconds of normal time remaining. Butcher's header. Czekanowski for Boniek. Is there another shot from him? But there's not time. Our World Cup hopes are revived by Bobby Robson's restructured side. The focal point, Gary Lineker's hat-trick. And the players who've been criticised rightly enjoy their moment in the sun.